Good day everyone, I am Vea J. Princilio, and in this part, we will be talking about the other side story of the characters of the first cry. To start with, we will do a little background first about the first cry or the cry of rebellion. There are a lot of controversies regarding the historical event of the first cry in the Philippine history, and many researchers have been confused about the date and place of this historical event that had happened. This historical event marked the beginning of the Philippine Revolution and their act of defiance against the Spaniards, wherein the Katipuneros, which was led by Andres Bonifacio, which later called him the father of the Philippine Revolution. So the cry of rebellion, or El Grito de Rebellion, is the first call for rebellion. It is the seeking or the beginning of the Philippine Revolution. Andres Bonifacio and his colleagues founded the Philippine Revolution organization called KKK. It is a secret organization that was established on July 7, 1892. It has the goal to independence the Philippines from Spain through a revolution, and 4 years after their organization was built, it was discovered in the year 1896, which led to start the Philippine Revolution, which is now called the First Cry. So, according to Gregoria de Jesus, the wife of Andres Bonifacio, who has been a participant of this event and became a keeper of the secret document of the Katipunan, the first cry happened near Caloocan on August 25, 1896. Julio Nakpil, the second husband of Gregoria de Jesus after the death of Bonifacio, gave his handwritten notes on the Philippine Revolution in the National Library under Teodoro M. Calao in 1925. He wrote, swearing before God and before history that everything in these notes is the truth. The revolution started in Balintawak in the last days of August 1896. On the later part, Nakpil remembered that the first cry of Balintawak was in August 26, 1896 in the place called Kangkong, adjacent to Pasong Tamo, in the jurisdiction of Balintawak, Caloocan, then within the province of Manila. So Julio Nakpil was a Filipino musician, composer, and a general during the Philippine Revolution against the Spain.
Good morning, everyone. I am Rosalie Falcon, and based on the historian Teodoro Calao, in his 1925 book, The Filipino Revolution, stated that this event happened in Kangkong, Balintawak during last week of August 1896. Because Cria Balintawak was the beginning of the Philippine Revolution against the Spanish Empire. At the end of the August 1896, founders of Katipunan Secret Society, or the Katipuneros, led by Andres Bonifacio, rose up in rebellion somewhere in Caloocan, a region larger than the jurisdiction of modern-day Caloocan City, according to Teodoro Agoncillo. Sparks a raging controversy about tearing of 8,000 Katipuneros Sidula that started the nationwide Philippine Revolution, since the erection of a monument to the heroes in September 3, 1911. The Cry of Balintawak was celebrated every 26th of August 24, 1896.
Ako'y naninindigan na sa Balintawak na ganapang unang himagsikan. Hayaan niyo na suportahan ko ang mga batis at patunay ng mga hinihain ng mga unang tagapagsalita. Ang kapasitor na si Julio Nakpil, ang ikalawang asawa ni Gregoria de Jesus, ang nagbigay ng kanyang mga nakasulat sa Philippine Revolution International Library sa ilalim ni Teodoro Calao noong 1925. Dito isinulat niya, I hope, therefore God, and before history that everything in this note is the truth. The revolution started in Balintawak in the last week of August in 1896. Sa isa pang pahina, sumulat siya. Bonifacio, after the first cry of war against Spain on August 24, 1896, at huli, naalala niya na first cry of Balintawak was in August 26, 1896, in the place called Kangkong, Balintawak, adjacent to Pasing Tabo within the jurisdiction of Balintawak, Caloocan, that within the province of Manila. Ayun lamang. Ito lamang ang ilan na mga tao na naghayag sa kanilang kaalaman base sa mga nasaksihan sa unang sigaw na naganap sa Balintawak noong August 26, 1896.
One of these became a controversy of the cry of rebellion. What date did the first cry take place? So there are many emerging points that determine where and when the cry of rebellion took place. So according to Lieutenant Olegario Diaz, so the cry of rebellion happens on August 25, 1896 at the Balintawak. So Lieutenant Olegario Diaz, he was an officer of the Spanish Guardia Civil. So the first arm clash between the Spanish forces and the Katipuneros rebels in the definition of the cry for these specific claims. Lieutenant Diaz, along with the Lieutenant Rose, could have been eyewitness, but the revolt could have been plotted elsewhere. So if we look at the facts supplied for the Balintawak scream, we can see that it is the conflict that is being discussed, not the precise moment when the Katipuneros gathered to complete their attack. So, in Caloocan, Balintawak, Banlad, and Pasong Tamo were mentioned by the Spanish historian Sastron in 1897. The names Dang Malaling, Kangkong, and Pugadlawin refers the various revisionary sources and designated as barrios. Only Caloocan and Balintawak are marks on detailed Spanish and American map. So in Balintawak is marked separately from the Caloocan and the Liman on the 1943 maps of Manila. Balintawak is responsible for the sites where revolutionary events took place. So Guillermo Masangkay counts on August 26 at 9 o'clock in the morning. There was a big meeting held in the Balintawak at the house of Apollo Samson, the nakabisa of the barrio of Caloocan. Among those who attended, Andres Bonifacio, Emilio Jacinto, Agaido del Rosario, Tomas Remedio, Precio Pantas, Teodoro Plata, Pio Valenzuela, Enrique Pacheco, and Francisco Corion. There were all leaders of that Katipunan and composed the board of directors of the organization. So its delegates from the Bulacan, Cabanatuan, Cavite, and Morong were also present. So Guillermo Masangkay, he was a childhood of Andres Bonifacio, and also he was a leader of that Katipunan. So at about 9 o'clock in the morning on August 26, 1896, the meeting was opened with Andres Bonifacio presiding and Emilio Jacinto acting as a secretary. So the purpose was to discuss when the uprising was to take place. So Teodoro Plata, Precio Pantas, and Pio Valenzuela were all opposed to starting the revolution too early. So Andres Bonifacio, sensing that he would lose the discussion then, left the session hall and talked to the people that the leaders were arguing against starting the revolution early. So Bonifacio said, "You remember the fate of our countrymen who were shot on the Bagong Bayan? Should we return now to the town, the Spaniard will only shoot us. Our organization has been discovered and we all marksmen. If we don't start the uprising, the Spaniards will get us anyway. What then do you say?" So the people shot as one revolt. So Bonifacio then asked the people to give a pledge that they were to revolt. He told them that the sign of slavery of the Filipinos were the cedulous tax charged each citizen. So Bonifacio said, "If it is true that you are ready to revolt, I want to see you destroy your cedulous. So it will be a sign that all of us have declared our severance from the Spaniards." So that's all. Thank you.
Sa atin ang bayang ito. Puri Gamitin ang mga sedula nyo!